always this bit when you wait, isn't it? Right, here we are. Right, we are live. Good morning, guys, and welcome to this week's interview with the lovely Ginny Marsh. Welcome to the group, Ginny. I know that actually you came into the group, didn't you?
Yes.
I think earlier this year. I don't know where the time's gone. I don't think, obviously with everything that's happened, and talked about camera confidence. But today, Ginny's going to give us a little bit more of an insight into her own business journey. So if you're ready, morning, Sarah, great to have you with us. So are you ready?
I am.
Let's do it. So do you want to just remind those of us, or those who didn't see you when you came in and did your talk, what your business is?
Well, so hi everyone, hey, anyone who's watching. So I'm Ginny from Gorgeous You Photography. I am obviously a photographer, but I specialise in boudoir and personal branding photography, and really specialise in confidence. So I boost women's body confidence, I help them with camera confidence, and that is generally what I've become known for. And I absolutely love it because it's something that I've really suffered with myself in the past, so I can really relate to my clients. And I've got a studio in Surrey. So yeah, I either do shoots in the studio or I go out to people's houses or places of work, and yeah, I love it.
And have you been able to do any virtual shoots? I've been seeing quite a few people do these different. Have you done any of that? Has that worked for you? No.
No, I don't. I still don't understand how these photographers have been doing virtual shoots, because I'm a little bit of I'm a recovering perfectionist.
Yes. I know that one.
And I just can't get over the quality difference of shooting through a screen. It's just not the same to me, and I just can't do it.
Oh, right. Okay. Sarah's just asked, whereabouts in Surrey are you from?
Oh, I'm in Farnham. So the other end to London.
The far end.
Yeah.
And how long have you been in business for, Ginny?
Well, this is my 10th year in business. Yeah. So 2010 is when I first became self-employed. Crazy.
When is your actual business birthday?
Do
you have a specific business birthday?
Exact date. This is the problem, but it was around October. So coming up.
Just have a whole month of business birthday.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds good. And why did you start your business, Ginny?
Oh my goodness. So it's a bit of a long story, but I've always worked in the photography industry, kind of, because I've always been interested in photography in general. But I was told quite early on that I couldn't make money from being a photographer. So so I started off working for an online camera retailer. So I started off in sales, worked in the warehouse, basically selling cameras, dealing with faulty returns and stuff. Worked there for quite a few years. Did a bit of traveling, did a gap year in between, and that's, I think, when I got my travel bug is really when I thought, actually, I really love taking photos. And then eventually I got made redundant, which is when I decided to do a degree in commercial photography. And so that got me into the photography industry as a photographer. And at the same time, I was working part-time for a photography studio. So I got trained up as a wedding and portrait photographer, doing family portraits, weddings, which was brilliant. Absolutely loved it. Got made redundant again.
Oh no.
So yeah, that's when 2010 I started up my own business, because I was made redundant. And I thought, well, what else am I going to do? I may as well just, I got to the
only person who can make me redundant now is myself.
Exactly. I got to the point where I was shooting weddings on my own for this other studio. So I felt confident that I could do it by myself. So actually I had a really kind of easy route into self-employment, really. And at the time I was working part-time at a pub, and that is the most brilliant way of getting business. So that was my networking. because people knew me as the photographer. So literally I used to get business from all the people who used to come into the pub.
Well, there's a new tip for networking for anybody who likes
seriously.
going to the pub. Get a part-time job in the pub and tell everybody what you do. Yeah,
Totally
I can see how that would. I can see how that works. Actually,
Yeah.
I can. But it is a new one. It's one I've not heard of. But we all do things our own way.
Yeah, it worked for me before the old networking groups came along.
Yeah, it's a great way to start.
Yeah.
So, what would you say your biggest problem is when it comes to moving your business forward?
Oh, so that would be my mindset. And I think it's only recently that I've really started to focus on my own mindset and limiting beliefs that get in the way, because basically when I first started my business, I used to be really interested in business stuff and, learning how to do marketing and sales and all this stuff. And I just used to, watch videos on how to be better in business and, do all these courses on how to run your business. And I mean, that's great. But if you can't get over those limiting beliefs, then you're really not going to get anywhere. And so that's what I'm sort of really realizing. I'm focusing on my limiting beliefs. Just that massively helps. And just knowing that you can actually achieve what you want. It's not going to happen until you overcome that.
Yeah.
Whatever limiting beliefs.
What have you discovered was your biggest limiting belief that was keeping you stuck?
Well, the main one that I've been working on is that you can't make money being a photographer.
Right. Okay. And that comes from people the repetition of people telling you that you'll never be able to make money from.
Yeah.
And it's that classic thing of you start to believe what other people tell you, don't you?
Exactly. So it's money mindset issues. I mean, I've kind of got over my initial fear of charging people for what I do.
Yeah.
And every year that I've been in business, I've gradually increased my prices to the fraction to the point where I'm happier and happier, until now I'm really happy with my average sale, and that's amazing. So I know that I can make a really good amount of money. It's just, I think it's that fear of also, which I relate a lot to my clients, is putting yourself out there. And I think
visibility is another very big
yes. There's also a fear of being successful.
Yes.
So
and I mean, I talk to people about this fear quite a lot, obviously, with clients that I work with. And when you first sort of say it to them, they have this puzzled look on their faces and go, how can there possibly be a fear of being success? But when you look down into it, it does, because people fear that it will change them, that they will distance themselves from people, they may lose people. There's all sorts of stuff that comes up, doesn't it, when you actually then start to drill down into that you don't actually realize was there until
also because I reached burnout in my business in 2018, there's also that fear of having too much work, and being overwhelmed again. So I'm now getting over that.
Yes. Overwhelm is another one that comes. I mean, I had that in my first business as a virtual assistant, and I have to say it hit me like a truck, very unexpectedly. No one had pre-warned me that this might happen, and I was a bit of a quivering wreck for a little while. I was just crying and I was just messing up, and it was just building and building and building until I sort of got to a point where you have to realize that something has to change. And I think the other thing, as you quite rightly touched on, and I, again, did exactly the same thing, is you go into the business and you learn all the business stuff. And you go and you take every single bit on, don't you? And it's just like, right, I'm going to learn this bit, then I'm going to learn this. And then you sit there and you wonder why actually it's still not happening.
Yeah,
but it's because you haven't done the other, so you haven't done the inner work and that bit first.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things I'm trying to sort of educate people in, is actually the mindset stuff needs to come at that starting point rather than after, because you'll save yourself a lot of money, you save yourself a lot of time, and you'll save yourself being hit by a overwhelmed burnout truck, as we well know.
Yeah, exactly. And it's only now that I'm realizing that I'm sort of working on myself more and realizing how to overcome that, because I'm also training in being a body confidence coach as well. So that's something that I'm currently working on, and in being able to help my clients more. So I'm dealing with it myself.
Yeah,
working on all
yeah.
these mindset issues and just figuring out how the mind works. I just find it fascinating.
Yes, it is. Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'm exactly the same. How's the body confidence training coming along? How far down the line are you with that?
It's taking at least twice as long as I expected. Luckily, it's a study from home course, so I can go at my own pace.
Right, yeah.
It was supposed to be a 4-month course, but I think it's going to be at least 8 to 10 months, I think, for me. Because there's a lot of stuff that I just want to make sure I go into depth with myself, and doing the exercises all myself, to make sure that I know exactly like how to help my clients go through it. And yeah, oh my goodness, it's been absolutely amazing, and I find it absolutely fascinating. But yeah, I'm almost halfway through now.
Yeah,
so.
I can see how you're talking about it, that it lights you up. I can,
Yeah.
that the energy is, as you're talking, it's like it's increased massively.
Yes,
That
definitely.
big grin on your face as you're talking about it. So that's when you know that you're going in the right direction and doing the
Exactly.
things that, that are really important. Sarah says, mindset before marketing is her motto.
Exactly.
I like that one, Sarah. Yeah, that's
Sarah,
really good. Sarah's really good with coming up. She does marketing, Sarah. I interviewed her a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yes, I saw, and I didn't see the whole thing.
She's got some great motto and one-liners actually that she comes out with. So I follow her with a lot of keenness. So my next question was, what mindset issues do you know have held you back? But we've kind of covered that, obviously, with a lot of the confidence stuff and the money mindset and pricing and limiting beliefs and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm going to delve into my next question, which is, what do you want your business to look like in a year's time?
So this is a tricky one, because I
love this question.
I know. A year time, 5 years time, 10 years time. It's something that I think I'm still getting better at setting goals. I mean, I know what my short-term goals I want to be, but also achieving my goals is another thing. But anyway, my plan is to create some passive or semi-passive income, because I feel like the time's right now for me to start putting a course out there on camera confidence, because it's become what I've become known for. And I've got a really great Facebook group who I'm teaching the camera confidence, and I've had some amazing transformations in the group. So I need to put a course out there now. That's my next step.
Okay.
So yeah, in a year's time, I want to have a bit of either semi-passive or passive income. I haven't quite decided yet exactly how I'm going to do the course, and how I can help people most, but that's what I'm currently figuring out, basically. Or I could possibly have a membership group, but it seems a lot of people have got membership groups at the moment. I'm not one for following the crowd. I just want to make sure it's exactly the right plan for me. So yeah, we will see.
Have you asked any of your sort of audience about that for any kind of ideas on how?
Not yet. Well, I've sort of
a bit of a steer on.
I've put some feelers out there, and they've given me some sort of topics they want to learn most about and stuff like that. I haven't yet asked the question of whether they'd want a course or a membership. So that's the next step.
Okay. Yeah. So in a year's time, you want to have some passive income through one.
Yes.
Maybe even 2 streams.
Maybe. Yeah. Exactly.
Maybe a couple of streams.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the plan. But also, because of the body confidence training that I'm doing, there's so much like possibility for that I can create moving forwards in coaching my clients and creating more of a massive course out of it. So yeah, that's really exciting. So maybe a year's time, maybe 2 years time for that. We'll see. But yeah, I'll only have finished it just sort of beginning of next year, so it might be a way to go yet. But yeah, that's really exciting. And also, like, I've got a dream of doing running retreats as well. So either like somewhere like Ibiza
we talked
or
about
Bali.
this before, didn't we, when you came on? Yeah,
I still want to do that. Obviously now it's just not quite the right time for retreats. So I'll have to see how that goes. But my dream is to be able to do a retreat that includes photography, but it's all about confidence and helping women to kind of overcome that and finishing with a photo shoot. So we could work on mindset and body confidence.
So would there be sort of like a beginning and after photo shoot to see those transformation from beginning to? Oh, I like the sound of that.
Yes.
Yeah,
I know, that's really exciting.
I think people will be quite surprised.
Yes.
From day one, stepping into obviously the last day at the end and doing that. I think that would make a really good.
And I could sort of incorporate a bit of a Gokwan kind of thing into it, like the how to look good naked, something like that maybe as well. That would be exciting.
Oh, I like the sound. Yes, I've got all these ideas. Not for mine. I've got all these ideas running around my own head.
I know.
No, yeah, that sounds brilliant. I definitely will be keeping an eye out for all of that.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, what steps do you need to take, or you may have even taken some of them, to move your business forward in that direction?
Oh, well, being able to adapt is something that I'm quite good at with my business, and just working out, if something's not working, then adapting it to something that does work, and just changing with the market. So if I've been putting a service or an offering out there and I'm not getting much from it, then just being able to tweak it and make it better to something that people do want, or or products that I'm selling, for instance. If something's not selling, then being able to source a better product, for instance. That's a big one, I think. Just being able to adapt with
and I think that's a mind shift. That's a mindset shift there as well, isn't there? In there is not of seeing it as not okay, that doesn't work, well then I'm no good, that's no good, and then that escalating and escalating.
Exactly.
It's a case of going, right, okay, let's learn from that hasn't happened. How can I make it better? And then put it back out.
I'm a firm believer of once one door closes, another door opens. So it's just about thinking, what else is possible? Okay, so you can't do what you're planning to do. What else is possible? So like, for instance, when the whole COVID thing hit and lockdown hit, I thought, okay, so I can't do photo shoots anymore. What else am I going to do? I know, train to be a body confidence coach. So
but it's the perfect time for I think for a lot of us, there have been negatives to COVID. We can't turn around and say that there isn't, and it's been a difficult time for everybody. But I think we've all been able to have time to do certain things that we wouldn't have been able to do, or we would have thought that we wouldn't be able to do. But because a lot of us are at home more, there's been certain things like doing your training and things that actually you've been able to knuckle down and start.
Exactly.
With that time, because there's other stuff you can't do. But okay, let's look at what we can do while we're in this time to then help us move forward when things, when other things move forward. I don't like to say get back to the new normal, but I think we all know what I mean.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So what advice do you have for other members of this group regarding anything to do with your journey, the mindset that you've learned, anything sort of you've taken from your journey so far?
Well, so, I mean, questions I get asked a lot are about, how to feel more confident in front of the camera, how to pose to flatter your figure, how to be more photogenic, or how to like yourself in photos, things like that. So I guess my top tips that people can take away from this group straight away would be to just start figuring out what makes you feel confident. Write it down. So that includes like clothes that make you feel good. even down to underwear that makes you feel sexy.
Favorite lippy.
Yeah, exactly. Makeup that makes you feel good, like perfume that you love the smell of, music that you love listening to. You know, when you like listen to the radio and a song comes on, you're just like, I love this song. Just stuff like that. Write it down, create a playlist of music that makes you feel really good. Hobbies that make you feel really good. Like, I've only recently rediscovered that I love cooking. That makes me feel really, really good in the kitchen. And I just put on some 90s dance tunes and dance around cooking in the kitchen. So all this stuff, like, it kind of creates a little kind of confidence toolkit that you can go to whenever you need that boost, that you think, oh my goodness, I really need to feel more confident today. I know, let's go to what I've written down and then do the stuff that I know actually lifts my confidence. So that will definitely help.
We all get wrapped up, don't we, in different things going on day to day. So I mean, and I always recommend, obviously the same as what you have just there, is to put stuff where you can see it, where you can look at it and refer to it, where it can come front of mind, where it can then become a bit more habitual, that those are the sorts of things. And you know that when you're having a bit of a lull, go to where that is, look at it and do the things in there. They don't have to take ages, do they? Some of them is like listening to a couple of songs, which might take 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to give you that, and like you say, it becomes like a toolkit, doesn't it?
But it helps to increase your energy as well. So if you listen to a song you love, sing to it as well, or maybe get up and dance to it as well, and that really helps.
Mine is Lionel Richie's Dancing on the Ceiling.
Brilliant.
And I absolutely love that song. I always have done. And I know every single word. I know all the oohs and the ahs and every bar.
Oh, brilliant.
That is my go-to. And even when it comes on the radio, the girls are like, oh, it's your favourite song. And I can't just sit there. I have to have a little dance around, and do your cleaning and whatnot and stuff. So it does make a big difference.
Definitely. I mean, I even joined the rock choir about a year. Actually, it was over a year ago now. It's nearly 2 years ago, just to help with my confidence, because I didn't feel confident in singing at all. And I didn't really sing I occasionally sang on my own, but I never sang in front of people ever. So I thought, well, what will get me singing more? I know, let's join the rock choir. And it's massively helped. So now there's also a list of songs that I can go to, that I know all the words to, that I can sing along to. That it's brilliant. That really helps.
Good.
And
Any
then
other gems for us?
Number 2 would be aware of what you tell yourself. So the thoughts that we think have a massive impact on our reality. And this is like what I'm currently delving into in my course as well, and it's just completely mind-blowing, the whole kind of the fact that our thoughts actually carry vibrations and can create the reality around us. So when people come to me and they have a kind of really low self-esteem, I find a lot of the time they are constantly putting themselves down without even realizing it usually. So it's just starting to be aware of what you're actually telling yourself when you look in the mirror, when you look at photos of yourself on a daily basis, and just trying to kind of turn those thoughts into more positive ones, to kind of really give yourself compliments, because it's so important, and it's not.
We all need to be a bit kinder to ourselves, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. So because basically our minds believe whatever we tell ourselves. So whether somebody else tells you something or you tell yourself something, it's exactly the same.
Well, it goes back to obviously people saying to you, repeating, obviously the whole thing about not being able to make, and the subconscious mind loves repetition, and if you repeat it enough, it becomes a reality. That it becomes your story, your narrative, what you tell yourself, and you tell yourself that, and then you tell the world it.
Yes, exactly. That's so true. And it's so important. This is something that I just didn't even realize how important it actually was. But the more you do it, the more it gets easier. And also like affirmations as well. Like if you can basically write down your negative thoughts and then create a positive version of that, and then just literally keep telling yourself that's just, you're off to a good start.
Yeah.
And then number 3 is practice. So practice
So
makes
everything,
perfect.
yeah, for it to become a habit, it takes practice.
Yeah, but also like practice taking your own photos as well. Practice taking selfies, especially if you don't like having your photo taken or aren't comfortable in front of the camera or putting yourself out there. Seriously, like the more you get out of your comfort zone, the easier it gets. So basically practice on selfie mode on your phone, and either get a little tripod or one of these handheld what am I thinking of? Selfie stick. Selfie stick, of course. So these selfie sticks quite often have like little tripod legs, so you can use it as a tripod as well, and they're brilliant. And they have
I've got one of those actually, and I use it for some of my my lives. You can either hold it up, and it's even got like a little remote control thing.
Exactly.
So you haven't got to do all that thing. You just press the little button.
Exactly.
That's £17 off Amazon. It's worth every
or
penny.
not even that. I'm sure I got mine for about a tenner or something. So yeah, I totally recommend that. So you can start taking your own selfies, especially of you and your business, so that you could possibly even use some of those to put on your social media. Just like photographing what you're up to and just thinking of posts that you can put out there. Anyway, that's a whole other story.
If I go back to probably one of the first kinds of selfies that I used to take, me and my husband used to take them when we go out and when we were on this. So, oh my God, honestly, we'd take about 10 and we'd just give up. We'd be like, nope, not working. Let's come back to that another time.
Oh no.
We'd be like, how do people do it? They do all these things and you've got the light and the angle and either like my husband's head looks massively bigger than mine. I mean, I have got a small head, massively bigger than mine, or it's just, and it is a practice thing, isn't it?
So what you need to remember.
He looks massive compared to me. I look like I've got this little pea head and he's got this, and he's not even big.
Okay, so how to get around that is basically what you need to remember is everything that's closest to the camera appears bigger and everything that's away from the camera appears smaller, especially on our phone lenses because they are quite wide angle lenses. So basically, if you in that situation, you would need to place your husband slightly behind you so that your head splits more the same
I suppose, it does. Yeah, it takes you back to your art class and the whole perspective thing,
exactly,
doesn't it?
it's perspective. And for instance, if you don't like, if you've got a big bum and you don't like your bum, then move your bum away from the camera and it will appear smaller. It's just a simple technique of perspective, really, and working out. And if you do it on selfie mode and do it in your own time, somewhere private where you can properly focus on it and practice and not be like embarrassed about other people like seeing it or anything like that, then that will give you time to really figure it out and practice.
Do you have a top tip then? So I'm just thinking of my own experiences as well, and I know there will be people out there who will be the same. So say someone's taking a picture of you and it's a natural picture, so obviously you're smiling in a natural response to something, and then obviously you're taking your selfie and you're smiling and it's not that same natural smile. Do you have a tip on how we can recreate that more natural look smile in a selfie?
Do you know what? The majority of the time that people don't like their smiles in front of the camera is because they're not thinking the right thoughts. So when we look at the camera and we don't like looking at the camera, we quite often are thinking, oh my God, I don't like looking at the camera. I wonder how I'm going to be looking.
We're telling we're telling the camera, aren't we, that
that comes across in the photo. So basically what I tell my clients as well is I kind of put them in a kind of space of, telling me about their favorite holidays or, thinking about what brings them joy, like if they've got a pet that they love or, anything like that brings a smile to their face and takes their mind off the camera in front of them.
And puts them in the right energy space to recreate that natural look.
Yes, exactly. So that's what you need to do. You need to be putting your mindset in that place of something that brings joy to you, and just think about that. And the more that you do it, the easier it will get. And again, the thoughts that you
change the focus.
Exactly. So not focus on how your smile is looking,
on what you're actually doing,
but actually focus on what brings you that smile in the first place.
Oh, I like that one, Ginny. That's a very good one. I like it. I'm going to use that one myself.
Good.
And I'm sure there'll be other people out there who'll be like, actually, now you say that, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so I'm going to be off practicing later, thinking about my cats or something else, or maybe I might be thinking about Thursday when the kids go back to school. There you go. That'll be you'll be like, cheesy grin.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely one for us mums, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have anything going on in your business at the moment, Ginny, that you would like to share with us specifically?
Well, I'm always open for free consultations for anybody who, might want a few tips on how they can improve, or ideas for what photos they might need for their business, for instance. And I can give you a few ideas, and then if I can help further with photo shoot, then great. But yeah, I'm always up for giving people just help with whatever they need. And then hopefully I'll be able to help you more in the long run. So
brilliant. And where can people find you?
So you can either find me on Facebook, so either Gorgeous You Photography by Ginny Marsh. I will
Ginny, put
I'll put it in the
link
comments.
down into the interview, so people can
put it after we finish. I'll put it in the comments because I don't see any way that I can type in this thing.
Oh, I don't know. I think you have to do it once we've come off.
Okay. I'll do it afterwards. So either my Facebook page, my Facebook group is basically it's facebook.com/groups/Gorgeous You Confidence. So it's called Gorgeous You, the Confidence to be Visible. So that's my Facebook group where I help people with camera confidence and posing and all sorts. And my website is just gorgousyouphotography.co.uk. So any one of those you can find me on. And I'm also on LinkedIn and Pinterest and Instagram and,
oh, and everything else.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I'd love to hear from anyone. If you do need a little bit of extra help, I can give you some tips, definitely.
Well, you've given us some great tips today already. Definitely the selfie one I'm going to be using, definitely will be using myself. That's a great one. Thank you so much for joining us, Ginny. I've really enjoyed our interview. I've been loving doing all of these interviews that we're doing because every time I speak to one of you amazing ladies, I find out something new. And today, I think with yours one particularly is how to get a part-time job in a pub and network and build your business. You could create a passive income around that.
Totally works.
Guys, thank you for joining us today. All that's left to say is enjoy the rest of your Tuesday and have a fab week. Take care, guys. See you soon. Bye.